Hello. Welcome back.
Hello.
Yeah. All right. We're talking about Rangers today. Probably. I don't know. I like this class a lot. Just like the way it's designed in this game.
It's pretty cool.
Although, I suppose there's a bit of a caveat there to where the entire class was redone in Tasha's, and there's a lot
that
of
did help.
there's
a
a
lot.
lot of things to take into account there. Speaking of which, we're going to be talking about the Beastmaster first, of course. It's just alphabetically the first one. But probably going to just talk about the Tasha's version instead of the PHP version. Because, that's probably going to be the version you're talking about. Yeah, so, I mean, gonna play. That's what I meant to say. But, cough. In any case. Yeah, so I'll start us off. The Beastmaster archetype embodies a friendship between the civilized races and the beasts of the world. United in focus, Beast and Ranger work as one to fight the monstrous foes that threaten civilization and wilderness alike. Emulating the Beastmaster archetype means committing yourself to this ideal, working in partnership with the animal as its companion and friend.
It's a fun idea. I mean, like, the big problem, in my opinion, with it was kind of like, there were rules for getting a new beast, but it was kind of like a big lore thing, so you don't want to, like, lose your beast, then it died, and then if it died, so it was very dangerous, you didn't want to put it in harm's way, but that was sort of the point. They fixed that in Tasha's, where you kind of like summon it, so if it dies, you can just re-summon it. Not really like a big deal. Apart from that, it's a little clunky still.
Yeah, I mean, it uses some slant blocks that scale with you. That's nice. You don't have to dig through a monster manual and pick something that's gonna suck basically as soon as you're level 5. It's alright.
At level 3, it doesn't really do much. By the time you're level,
really.
The level 3 feature is essentially you can use your action to have your beast attack. It can just sort of move, which is kind of nice, so it can run around and give flanking and things. And if you don't tell it to do anything, it just dodges. But by the time you're level 5, your action is way better than its action. And at level 3, your action is not that much. They're very comparable.
Well, it's not that bad at 5, because you can use an attack from your multi-attack feature to have your thing attack in Tasha's.
No, that's a later feature.
No, you can sacrifice one attack when you take the attack action. Command the beast to take the attack action. That's right from level 3 in Tasha's.
Oh.
It's not that bad.
You're right.
I mean, it's
I'm
not
not as familiar with the Tasha's
that
changes.
good.
I didn't know they existed until like a month ago.
Yeah,
for the Beastmaster specifically. I knew the other Ranger changes existed. But yeah, that's pretty decent. Yeah. Well then, never mind. It's pretty decent. Because that level is pretty good. You're probably using a longbow or something. In which case, you could substitute your attack out for your beast if it's like flanking or something. Which is pretty decent.
Yeah.
Your beast can just run around. It's not like super impactful, but it's another health bar, and it can flank, which is mainly what it does.
Yeah.
The upgrades for this class are kind of whatever. It sort of just helps your action economy, so it makes your beast more usable more often.
At 11th level, you sort of get the fighter's 3 extra attacks, kinda, which is cool. because you can attack, then your beast can attack twice. At 7th,
Yeah.
they can help you, which is pretty helpful.
It's just sort of an upgrade to its ability to flank. Because it can sort of flank without flanking.
Yeah.
It could just give you advantage on things.
Yeah,
It's okay. It's not very exciting. I mean, the beast itself, having it is fairly exciting.
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate does a cool thing where your beast upgrade, which is way more exciting.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate makes this class way more fun, I think.
As it is as itself. There's a lot you can do just sort of flavor-wise in this class and out of combat as this class, just because you have a beast. You know, if you have a beast, if it's like a bird or a bear or something, it's that you can do just because, like, it's a bear. So you're like, I want my bear to, like, climb a tree, and you're, I don't know, maybe it's not on the stat block, but it's a bear.
Yeah,
so your DM's probably gonna go, like, it's a bear.
My companion's
Sure.
actually a dolphin. Let's go.
Yeah, so there's some stuff you can do, and then you, like, your DM will probably go like, oh, it's a dolphin, it can use echolocation or something, sure. Or it can barrel through this wall because it's a bear. And there's a lot of role play and cool stuff. Just because you have the animal companion, it opens up a lot of neat role play identities.
Also,
though it would be nicer if there were some more excitement in some of the features, especially later.
Slightly off topic, I guess, but well, it's not really off topic, but off like the ranger being good. You get share spells at 15th level, which is pretty okay. It's not like very good with most ranger spells. But you could just take your last 5 levels in like Druid or Wizard to actually make it good. So you know,
I mean,
you
you
could do
can
some
just
funny
like
things there.
cure wounds, both of you, which is pretty good.
It's not that good.
I mean, it's double the value of cure wounds. It's not. It doesn't have a limit. It's just any time you do that, you can do it. If you were gonna cure wounds yourself anyway,
I would rather let my companion die than use Cure Wounds on it at 15th level, because I can just resummon it for a first level spell slot.
Yeah, but if you're gonna cast it on yourself, it just auto doubles the value.
Yeah, but you're not gonna cast Cure Wounds on yourself, because you can't cast spells on yourself if you're downed, and using Cure Wounds on yourself is terrible as a ranger.
That's not true. You're...
It's so bad. At 15th level? It's so bad. That's less than like half an attack.
Skin on yourself and your companion.
That's usable, but you can't use any like concentration spells as a ranger if you use Stone Skin, which is 90% of your spell list. So
Stone Skin's pretty good.
Man, if Conjure Volley was a self spell, man, I'd go crazy with it. My boar using Conjure Volley, hell yeah.
There aren't a lot. There's Freedom of Nature. Non-detection doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but
or Charmelon Strides.
It's a thing. It's okay. Beastmaster's fine. It's not super good.
You could pass without a trace, both of you.
Where are we putting it?
I like it.
I'm a little like biased towards rangers, to be honest, so I don't really know where I'd put this.
I feel like
a lot of ranger subclasses are good though, and if I'm comparing them to only ranger subclasses, I'd probably put this in like C.
I was gonna say I kind of want to put it in B, but I feel like it deserves to be in C. I just like animal.
Yeah, I mean I like it. It's good.
But it probably deserves to be in C.
The next one, the Drake Warden, is in a lot of ways just a subclass, but better in almost every conceivable way.
The Drake Warden is like this subclass. but lame.
That's fake as hell. Bro's like, oh, the Drake Warden's lame because it's good, but also, like, you can't lie to me. You like dragons. Like, you can't just be like, dragons are overrated because other people like them.
It's like I'm special.
That's a you problem, okay? People like being special. Also, it's
too special.
It's on you. You read the excerpt on this one.
Your connection to the natural world takes the form of a draconic spirit, which can manifest its physical form as a drake. As your powers grow, your drake grows as well, blossoming from a small four-legged companion, majestic winged creature, large and strong enough for you to ride. Along the way, you gain an increasing share of awe-inspiring power of dragons.
And they've got like this little flavor excerpt here. I probably won't add that, buy Fizbands if you want to see it. Or just look it up online, whatever. I don't know. I think it's cool. I mean, especially like the idea of you get like a little guy. You essentially like you start with like an egg, right? And then you hit level 3 and it hatches, and then it's like, oh, it's like this little guy. And then like as you continue forward through your career, it grows with you and stuff. Like that's a very cool thing in a subclass. And you were just saying you liked how Baldur's Gate kind of did that with Beastmaster, so.
Yeah, I guess I kind of said that.
And you get some flavor here. You get thaumaturgy, and you can the draconic language.
I just feel like this one doesn't have that like exciting flavor. It's just kind of like your beast can do everything and is ridiculous.
It's not that. It's not ridiculous. It's good, but I don't know, man. Also, it should be able to do a lot of things. Like, this is your character. The thing that you do is that you have this dragon.
You have a whole class. And it can take a whole turn as long as you float your bonus action. And it gets a fly speed, and you can ride it, and its attacks are magical.
Yeah, but not at first.
It does extra damage. Yeah, but it gets it all at 7th. And at 7th, it gets a resistance that you can change every time you summon it. And your attacks are better while your beast is near you.
Yeah.
And it's not like you're picking something. You don't get to pick something where there's more flavor, and you don't get to change what it is. It's not like I have this companion that, I don't know, you could have a baby dragon in the other one. It's just there's no room for like change. It's just sort of like you have this thing and it's really, really good, and that's it. And there's no room for you to think about it or change it. It's just awesome. And you were awesome.
I don't know. It works for me. These all sound like positives. You're saying the class is just good, all its features work really well, it's really cool, and everyone thinks you're cool because you have a dragon. Like, I don't know.
No,
man.
You play this at your table and everyone goes, why did I even show up? Who cares? This is an unearthed Arcana class that was broken, completely unbalanced, and then they didn't change it for some reason and released it, and it's disgusting.
It's not that disgusting.
And it just ruins the whole table because someone plays it and you're like,
nah, not even close.
Well, why should I do anything? Because they're the support, tank, DPS, carry. They're a whole party in one character.
That's not true at all. I don't believe that even a little bit. It's a good subclass, but I don't even think it's the best. Actually, I don't think anyone thinks it's the best Ranger subclass. And I don't think anyone thinks that Ranger's the best class either. Like,
there's no flavor in it either.
There's a lot of flavor in it. There's so much flavor in it. Like, I don't know. I don't agree with that at all. It's called Dungeons and Dragons. Like, dragons are a huge part of, like, the lore of the game. Like, there's so much you can do with a character like
Get
this.
one? That's crazy.
Yeah, but it's not as strong as an actual dragon.
And what's the point?
You
You're
can
also
be as
ruining
strong as an actual
lore.
dragon as a wizard. You could just turn into one. You could true polymorph someone else into a dragon. Permanently. I think it's cool.
Where would you put it?
Where would I put it? It's hard to say. I think like from a flavor thing, the fact that it like evolves as you level up. And like eventually it grows large and you can sit on it and it can fly around at like 15th level. That's really cool. I don't know. It doesn't necessarily hit on everything I want as a ranger. But I think it's good. I think it's like a fun character to play. I would probably put it in like A.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not an S rank thing, just because I don't think it's, I don't know, it's not quite there for me as far as like flexibility is concerned, which is the biggest issue for me. Like, all the things are good, but I like being able to pick things. Like, oh.
You don't pick anything. This is just your DM handing you a character sheet.
Well, that's why it's not
As
an
the main
S
character of the campaign, who's more important than the rest of your party.
Bro, that is
And
fake
you don't
as hell.
pick anything.
What
and
are
there's
you
nothing to
talking
choose,
about?
And your character means nothing.
You're going off randomly. You are not the main character of the campaign because you're Drake Warden. That doesn't make any sense at all.
Boo.
Literally, like an Oathbreaker Paladin
Boo.
has way more main
Oathbreaker.
character energy than a Drake Warden.
No.
You're literally like, oh, my parents.
Oath
were killed. I'm
Warden
gonna
has
destroy them."
more of the I don't want to talk to this person in real life energy.
I'm just saying it's true, okay?
This has a similar energy to that, I guess.
Alright, well, we have Fey Wanderer now. It's the third ranger subclass. A Fey mystique surrounds you thanks to the boon of an archfey, the shining fruit you ate from a talking tree, the magic spring you swam in, or some other thing that happened probably, I don't know. However you acquired your Fey magic, you're now a Fey Wanderer. A ranger who represents both the mortal and Fey realms. As you wander the multiverse, your joyful laughter brightens the hearts of the downtrodden and your martial prowess strikes terror in your foes. For great is the mirth of the Fey, and dreadful is their fury. Ho ho!
This class is great.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm a little Fey pilled.
Yeah.
Little bit.
Fey are fun. Sometimes.
There's a lot of cool stuff you could do with this.
You're
You're a like Dex Wisdom character, but the features have to do mostly with charisma, so it's like a reason to do that. So you generally have you generally have to lower your Dex and or Wisdom to get high charisma, but it gives you like a meaningful trade-off. You get cool spells. You do a little extra damage. Once per level or once per turn, just sort of like pseudo.
It's kind of meh, but it's there. You get an extra D4 if you hit with a weapon once per turn. Cool.
Which incentivizes you to use
Sometimes it's a
weapon.
D6. Cool. Yeah, you get an expanded spell list, which is something you don't usually get as a ranger. Misty
And they're
Step,
cool spells.
pretty good. think you're happy to get Misty Step as a ranger pretty much all the time. You get Dispel Magic. It's also pretty good.
And then Dimension Door and Mislead are pretty neat
Yeah, they're
spells.
fine.
You know, I mean, you're not going to get them until really late, but
I mean, you're happy enough to have them added to your spell list just because.
you can also just have the biggest number of all time.
I also like the Feywild Gifts table. It's pretty cool. Once again, just like a flavor subtext, like the Drake Warden, but you know, look at it if you get the chance. It's alright. Yeah. I think the thing that like this class is known for is essentially you can make charisma checks with wisdom. But also if you have charisma, you can make them with wisdom and also add charisma to them, so you can be very good at charisma checks. So
Where would you put it? You never know where you'd put anything. I'd put it in S tier. This subclass is amazing. Best subclass.
I don't know if I want to put it in S tier or A tier, but I know it's at least tier. It's a
totally
little
completely unbiased opinion. It's too cool and should be an S tier.
That's fair. I mean, it's a little multi-ability score dependent, but it's not that bad.
Is. No, you can also sort of sack decks.
I think what you kind of want to do with this class, because you want to have high charisma and wisdom, generally speaking at least. I mean, 20 wisdom is very important for this, as opposed to most other rangers. So you want to get there.
You're a lot more of a spellcaster, which is cool. It takes you becoming more of a spellcaster as a...
Yeah. I think
in an interesting direction.
Shillelagh with a shield, I think, with 14 dex, medium armor, is probably how you want to do this. You could be Dexy, but you want to get that 20 wisdom to get the most out of your features, especially because you're using Summon Fey. Like that's a thing that you do.
Yeah, I like pushing for 16 dex, 18 charisma, 18 wisdom. That's what I pushed for when I was building this class that I didn't get to play, but you know, because I think having a bow, even if you're I think being better built for Shillelagh is something, but having a bow is good just because you don't have another ranged option. Longbows are very powerful, and it's very good with the extra damage on your dreadful strikes.
Yeah.
Though you are fairly bulky as a ranger since you have a D10 hit die, so you can sort of wear good medium armor and box with... I think a really powerful part of ranger is they're really good. They can be really good at ranged and really good in close range, so they're never at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
They're always where they want to be, which gives you a lot of options, and this class gives you a lot of options. So good in you're also good out of combat. You're good at talking to people. You have advantage in Charmed and Frightened. You can cast Summon Fey, which is your like 11th level feature.
And you get 2 Summon Feys at 15. And if you have 20 wisdom, you can use Misstep 5 times.
You can Misty Step a bunch, so you're a lot more. Are you never in a bad situation with Misty Step and Dimension Door? You just have so many options, and Summon Fey. You can just.
Yeah, it's very
You're
mobile
always
and
good.
fun and cool, and
You
having
can't
two
be
Fey
pinned
is cool
down.
and fun.
You can't be charmed and frightened. You can, if there's a bunch of guys, you just summon Fey. If you need to like grab something or create a diversion, you're good at it.
Yeah.
Especially because you're good at like deception and performance. You're just. It's a really good character that you can really just never be bad. Which is cool, but you aren't like. It doesn't really push its upsides as hard, so I think it doesn't feel like unbalanced or like you're stealing the spotlight. And but it really does, I think, deliver on a different. It feels very much like a ranger, but it's a different vibe to it that I think connects perfectly.
I think to an extent, that's a little. I don't know. I'm gonna say I think that's you're being unfair to the Drake Warden when the guy with the plus 38 to charisma walks up and say he doesn't have main character energy, but like. I mean, that's just me. I really like the subclass though. It's probably like my favorite ranger subclass. Yeah, whatever. I'll put it in S tier, even though
Woo!
it's probably not mechanically an S tier class, but it's sick. So whatever. All right. You get to read about Gloom Stalker now though. So did you really win?
Gloom Stalkers are at home in the darkest places, deep under the earth, in gloomy alleyways, primeval forests, and wherever else the light dims. Most folk enter such places with trepidation, but a Gloom Stalker ventures boldly into the darkness, seeking to ambush threats before they can reach the broader world. Such rangers are often found in the Underdark, but will go any place evil lurks in the shadows.
Alright, so I'm pretty sure amongst the community this is pretty widely accepted as the strongest ranger subclass. It's kind of just broken.
It's not very exciting.
It isn't.
But no, it is very
not
good.
really.
Yeah.
But they do get. I mean, they get things that are exciting, right? It's not exciting. There's just. It's not the most flavorful thing of all.
The
time.
only reason I've ever seen that anyone picks this class is because it's good.
Yeah.
Its level 3 feature is you just get an extra attack.
I think people do that for almost every class, though. I don't know. I've been in so many campaigns where people are just like, I'm just gonna pick the best subclass because I want to be a strong character. And you know, I don't blame people for doing that.
I have
like
people don't do that. Oh,
nah, I see that a lot where people are just like, I'm playing like barbarian totem warrior, and you know they don't have to think about anything else. You know, that's what they're doing. Or it's like, I'm gonna play that fighter subclass, the critical role one that's broken as hell that lets you teleport to a clone, or like Scribe's Wizard.
This is because you know.
I mean,
the
people
same
just
friend that plays Barbarian is the same friend that plays Drake Warden and Gloom Stalker.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, but also his friends do that too. So,
yeah.
I'm just saying, I think it is not uncommon for people to just be as strong as possible. I don't think that's uncommon at all. But Gloomstalkers get an expanded spell list, which is something we've already said that we like and is good for.
Lame expanded spell list.
That is fake. Greater invisibility is cool and fun. Also, so is Disguise Self.
Greater invisibility is not cool. It is
Yes, it
good.
is.
There's
No,
a
it's
difference.
cool. It's cool. What you think is cool is different than what I think is cool. Easy fix. I think greater invisibility is
Rope
cool.
trick and fear aren't cool either.
Well, rope trick's lame as hell. Fear's I think it's kind of cool. It's fun-ish. Disguise self is cool. Seeming is neat.
I'm surprised you don't think rope trick is cool.
Why would you think I think rope trick is
Because
cool?
it's a cheesy, like, good, like, mathematically good spell.
What are you talking about? Rope trick's lame as hell.
All the Gloom Stalker mains are gonna tell you otherwise.
Alright, if you're a Gloom Stalker main and you're using rope trick, let me know.
I played a 3-year campaign with a Gloom Stalker main who used rope trick all the time.
Well, you know.
It's the screw your DM and all your puzzles are gonna hide in dimension spell and cheese everything.
In any case, what the Dread Ambusher does, they get a better initiative on the first turn of combat. They move faster. They can take another attack. They can make another attack. Is just in general. This is the first turn of combat, and if their extra attack hits, they deal extra damage. It's just good in every situation. It is never bad. Yeah, it's very good. You sort of get a multi-attack at level 3 that does extra damage, and you get an initiative bonus. All in one. And you get Disguise Self, and you get Umbral Sight. Wowee! Yeah, you get Dark Vision. If you have Dark Vision, you get better Dark Vision. I feel like I like when things say things like that. Wish they did it more often, but in any case. Yeah, you're invisible, in darkness.
Two creatures that
creatures
rely
that
on
use
dark. So if they can see you in the dark, then they can't see you in the dark. But if they can't see you in the dark, then they still can't see you in the dark because they can't see in the dark.
Yeah. You know. It's pretty good. I don't know. It makes you better at hiding, which is kind of what you like.
In the most cringe way possible.
You know what? Screw Dark Vision. I don't care.
This is a buff. If you don't like Dark Vision, you should like this less.
No, screw Dark Vision when other people are using it, not me when I'm playing this class. Easy.
What? If you don't like Dark Vision, you should be upset when your Deep Gnome walks over, your Dread Ambusher, your Gloomstalker Deep Gnome walks up and is like, actually, I have a 850-foot Dark Vision.
Yeah.
So I can transcend time and space. Also, if it's dark, nobody can see me. And there's nothing you can do about it. No one can see me. If they have dark vision, if they
like
don't have dark vision, if they've got, like, true sight, who cares? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't.
I just make a cave and everyone in it has, they're invisible in darkness, even if you have dark vision, it's easy. I don't know. Iron Mind is lame.
Lame!
Yet another proficiency. it's lame. It's not even like... I mean, it isn't terrible, but it's not that good. Stalker's Flurry.
It's just if you miss, you don't.
If you miss a weapon
There's
attack, you can take
no
another attack.
flavor in the entire class. It's just...
Level 15, if they don't have advantage, you can use a reaction to impose disadvantage. Wowee. Anyway. All that sucks and is lame, who cares? Y'all already know what you're supposed to do, right? You just
go 3 and you go something else, because the class is made terrible.
Yeah, you go 3 and you just, play a rogue, and you're the strongest martial in the game. Congrats. Anyway, we don't really have to talk about it much more than that. It's good, but it's also lame. So I don't know.
C-tier.
I was gonna put it in B tier. I can put it in C tier, but I feel like if I put it in C tier, people will be upset because they're like, Gloom Stalker's the best ranger class. How dare you?
Yeah, but it's the best ranger class that there's no reason to take level 4 in.
Well, there's a reason to take level 4 and 5 if you're not playing a fighter or a paladin.
Yeah, but Gloom Stalker, none of the features matter, but the first one.
Yeah, that's true. That's because they get 18 features. Horizon Walker. Horizon Walkers guard the world against threats that originate from other planes that seek to ravage the mortal realm with otherworldly magic. They seek out planar portals and keep a watch over them, venturing to the inner planes and outer planes as needed to pursue their foes. These rangers are also friends to any forces in the multiverse, especially benevolent dragons, fey, and elementals that work to preserve life in the order of the planes. Yeah, they also get a spell list. They get Misty Step. They get Haste. Very hype. They get Banishment. They get Teleportation Circle. Yippee.
They're fun spells. For the most part.
You get, like, the most dog shit ribbon feature to ever exist. You get the ability to magically sense the presence of a planar portal!
Yeah,
within 1 mile of you!
You can use it once every short rest.
Wow! Wee! That's crazy! Anyway.
This detect portal is the sticker on the front of this class that on the subclass that says this subclass is lame and made badly. And so for a long time I just skimmed past Horizon Walker every time I looked through Ranger because Detect Portal was there. And then at some point it was you who was like, this subclass is actually cool.
It is,
and I was
yeah.
like, no, it isn't. Have you read Detect Portal? And then you were like, but there's features past that. And I was like, what? There are?
That's
and
crazy.
They're actually cool.
Yeah, you get a slightly better extra damage feature than the Fey Wanderer, but it requires a bonus action, so...
Yeah.
You know.
It's neat. It makes all your damage force, though, which is cool. It's a D8.
Yeah.
So it sort of has force is a very good damage type, so...
Yeah, it's 2d8
but you can,
at 11th, which is quite good.
2d8 is very good, yeah. They can cast Etherealness as a bonus action, which only lasts until the end of the current turn, which is a very interesting feature. It's very cool.
It's more useful than you might think.
And it's on that's a short rest feature.
Yeah.
Which is pretty neat.
And also it's
a
also
very
a bonus
neat
action,
spell.
not an
A very high level spell, a 7th level spell that lasts for 8 hours. But it's a very neat way of balancing it. It lasts for 8 hours, but instead you get this very powerful spell, but only for like 6 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's cool, and it's not broken. You can't just use it over, but it allows for a very neat moments where you sort of disappear and can get out of something, or you can like pseudo fly in a theory too, so you can like get to things kind of. You're like really slow, but I don't know. There's some like neat ideas there. Enough neat idea. It's like restricted enough where it's not nonsense, but it's open enough where it's very fun and cool.
It's more useful than you might expect.
And their 11th level feature is like extremely anime.
Yeah, it's very anime. It's very cool. It's
It's also very good.
very hype. Yeah,
cool.
it's very hand crossbow user.
You just get to teleport 10 feet. Every
Yeah.
time you make the attack action, you get to teleport 10 feet before you make the attack.
And if you attack two different creatures, you can attack a third creature. So,
which is also very cool.
so you kind of can
teleporting-
get triple attack against 3 people, which means you can teleport 30 feet in a turn, which is pretty good. It's pretty hard for people to hit a ranged character that's teleporting 20 feet.
It also
every time they
means
take an attack action.
you get like a free you get like a free disengage. Generally, unless the thing you're fighting has like ultra reach, but you can also move to the edge of their and then do it technically if you know what their reach is. It is, and it also means if you're using a ranged attack, which you probably are because you're a ranger in the name.
Yeah, it's very good with crossbow expert too, because
you can teleport
disengage for free, and you don't get disadvantage on your ranged attack.
Yeah.
Rolls. So, it's pretty sick. Would recommend.
Level to 15 feature is just you can use your reaction to
get resistance.
give yourself resistance, which is kind of like uncanny dodge.
Yeah, you just take half damage from an attack.
Differently.
It's pretty good. It's not that interesting.
It's not very exciting. But it's not. The rest of the features are cool. This is a very cool subclass.
Yeah, it's a little weak,
with some very cool ideas.
but it is interesting.
I don't know. I'd put it in A.
I don't know.
think it's good.
It's good. I don't know. It's a little limited in its like character identity. And so I think just its factor of like interest isn't quite high enough, I don't think.
I guess. I mean, I feel like I could do a lot. I've never considered making one though, which might be a testament to your point. But yeah, I mean, I guess you're kind of.
I mean, I had fun playing one, but you know, if you're not doing like a Planescape adventure or a thing where that's relevant, like a lot of your class features are gonna feel a little.
I mean,
lacking.
it's kind of just detect portal, which I think is always lacking. Just detect portal, unless your DM built a campaign around one of your players playing Horizon Walker and detect portal being very important to the plot. Detect portal is going to be useful maybe once.
Well, even in a Planescape campaign, it'll be useful, right? You don't have to build it. You could just say, oh, we're going to do one of those, so I'm going to be a Horizon Walker. It's just, a lot of the flavor comes from, like, interplanar travel and things. And you could ignore that, but
yeah, but only one
extent.
of the features reference that.
No, etherealness is planar travel, and also, technically, your 15th level feature says you use, like, interplanar energy to reduce the damage.
Yeah, but that's just flavor text. You can make the flavor text whatever you want.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, when you build a Horizon Walker, I feel like you have an idea in mind. Otherwise, you probably will play something else. Like a Fey Wanderer, for example. So,
I mean, I'm gonna play that either way. No. Well, whatever. I think I can survive with where it is. I'm not crazy about it. Being an A versus B.
Hunter. Hunter's got the hunt.
Hunter.
Yeah.
Emulating the hunter type means accepting your place as a bulwark between the people you protect and the terrors of the wilderness. As you walk the hunter's path, you learn specialized techniques for fighting the threats you face, from rampaging ogres to towering giants and terrifying dragons.
This subclass is so lame.
I love the idea of subclass. You get like a cool single target feature, but you get to pick between a list. Then you get like a defensive feature, and you pick between a list of different options. And then you get a multi-attack feature, and you pick between a list. And then you get a sort of dodging feature, and you pick between a list. And that's all their features, which is a great idea. And they're all based around fighting different types of monsters, fighting big monsters or many monsters, or stuff like that. You being attacked a bunch of times or just once, or fighting things that are really scary. But it doesn't really hit the mark. Its features end up being lackluster, or there's a list of options, but really some of the features are too bad to even consider.
There's also, like, for what it is, there's not enough options. And for what they do, it doesn't really make that much sense that you can only pick one. Like, if this literally just read you could change which thing on a long rest on any of these, I think this class would still be weak.
Yeah, I love the idea, but it's just not very well balanced. It's just way too weak, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea too. I like the concept of being a hunter. Like, I feel like this is like the Ranger. At least it's supposed to be the Ranger. This is supposed to be your guy who's like real good at like fighting monsters and like using a bow, or I suppose.
I
like,
think that would be
fighting.
cool, actually. If there were some that were more specific, and you could switch on a long rest. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, because then like you, in theory, in a campaign, it could come up where you're like, oh, like tomorrow we're gonna have to fight trolls, right? It's like, oh, let me prepare like this thing so that I'm better against trolls. Like that would really feel like a ranger and feel good to play, I think.
Because it's not just you have features that make you better at fighting, make you better at hunting, specifically. In regards to, you actually use your normal base class ranger features to learn about the creature, and then these things are based around actually fighting that creature.
Yeah.
That would be very neat. That's not what it is, unfortunately. Yeah, and the features are just
some of them just
bad. Like at 7th level, you get your defensive tactics.
Yeah, you're never taking Steel Will.
Your opportunity attacks made against you are at disadvantage is like technically okay.
That's fine.
But not as the only feature you get.
No. As a
multi-attack defense,
feature,
when a creature hits you with an attack, you get a +4 bonus to AC on all subsequent attacks made by that creature. Could read all subsequent attacks made before your next turn, and it would still not be very good, but it would be okay.
It's not very
Steel Will is you get advantage on saving throws against being frightened as your 7th level feature. That's it.
Yeah.
Like
also,
the idea behind it is neat.
With multi-attack defense, it has to hit you, right? So if it has if it multi-attacks you, misses the first attack, you don't get +4 AC. So it's just...
It would, yeah.
All three of these are ass. Like, I would take Escape the Horde because, I mean, I'm probably a ranged character, right? And I probably want to run away. But I wouldn't be happy about it. like with multi-attack, right? You get 2 features. You have to pick one of them. And if you got both of them, I would think this was a pretty cool thing to get.
The multi-attack things, I think, are the most exciting parts.
Very much.
Multi-attack features, I think, are the most exciting part of the entire class.
Yeah. But
neat volley is you make a number of range attack against.
Volley can be very good.
You pick a 10-foot radius sphere, and you get to make an attack against every creature in that sphere. Which is very cool as your action. So you could be making 10 attacks. Probably not, but you could be, which is very neat. More likely, I mean, if you're making 3 attacks, it's better.
Yeah, if you make 3 or 4, I mean, you're just better than attacking normally.
And then Whirlwind is you just make a melee attack against a number of creatures within 5 feet of you, which is
much worse than Volley.
Worse, yeah.
Volley, you can pick where they are, and the radius is bigger. Whirlwind attack, even if you have a weapon with reach, that doesn't make this better, which doesn't make a ton of sense.
Specifically states 5 feet. It's hard to get a weapon with reach anyway, so I don't think even if it was a weapon with a reach, it still wouldn't make it that much better, because you probably don't want that weapon.
Even, like, flavorfully, this is something I want to do as, like, a barbarian, right? This isn't... If I'm playing a ranger and I'm hunting something, and then I'm surrounded by 4 trolls, and I'm like, good thing I brought my whirlwind attack, I feel like that's a meme. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think Volley makes sense for the class. Whirlwind attack doesn't. Whirlwind attack, yeah, feels like a fighter or a barbarian thing. It should be something like, if you attack something that's bigger than you, you get to do something, or if you attack something that can fly, or something that can, like, dig, or you disrupt something's senses.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. And I mean, 15th level you get evasion or uncanny dodge.
Or stand against the tide.
Which are good, but
it's 15th level.
Nothing. Like, it doesn't add any flavor. And the class, you don't want to play this class to 3, let alone 15.
Yeah. There's not, like, a reason to play Hunter all the way through.
It's a cool idea, but it just doesn't work. So...
just play a bow rogue instead, and you'll pretty much be this, but good.
Yeah. I think the only reason this class means anything is Volley.
Yeah.
But the class isn't worth playing just for Volley.
No, not really. Especially because...
just playing a bow fighter's generally better than Volley anyway.
You don't even need to have a Volley, right? Because you can get Conjure Volley.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of a different idea. It's like an spell. But it's... I don't know, I guess lorically it's a similar idea.
I mean, it's later level. It's later level to get Conjure Volley, but it's also much better. And you could play a different ranger to get it, is what
I don't know. It's bad. I'd put it in D tier, probably.
I'd put it in D tier, too. I think it's dookie.
It's bad.
Alright, here we go. Monster Slayer Ranger.
Monster Slayer is real? It is real.
You've dedicated yourself to hunting down creatures of the night and wielders of grim magic. A Monster Slayer seeks out vampires, dragons, evil fae, fiends, and other magical threats. Trained in supernatural techniques to overcome such monsters, Slayers are experts at unearthing and defeating mighty mystical foes. Yeah, Monster Slayer Ranger. They've got, protection from evil and good, Zone of Truth, Magic Circle. Magic Circle. That's kind of fun, right? Banishment and Hold Monster. So you get, like, a weakness sensor thing, which is... it's cool. It's flavorful for a ranger.
It's so specific, all of their features. But you don't get, like, multiple of them. So you can just pick specific things. It's just your features are specific.
Yeah.
Hunter Sense is alright. You learn immunities, resistance, and vulnerabilities to a creature.
I mean,
sort of
Slayer's Prey,
which kind of sucks.
Is just Hunter's Mark, but you don't have to use a spell slot on it, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't require concentration,
which
technically.
is nice.
But
I
it also
guess.
lasts, like, forever? Kind of?
Yeah,
Doesn't really matter?
it's... I don't know. I think this is kind of worse than the Fey Wanderers one, and kind of worse than the Horizon Walker one. But I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of better than them as well.
I
Question
mean,
mark.
Hunter Sense is good if you use your action on something and your DM is like, this thing has a vulnerability to fire and is immune to lightning. But most creatures don't. If it's like,
Yeah,
this thing's resistant to necrotic damage and that's it, then you're like, wow, that was a waste of my action.
a lot of monsters don't have vulnerabilities, or immunities, really. I would say
I mean,
90% of them. But a lot of them have
I might
resistances to
put
bludgeoning,
more
piercing, and
effort
slashing.
into this
But
if my DM or if I had a player as a DM, if I had a player who took this, I might give creatures more, because I think sometimes, unless it's obvious, immunities could feel really bad and resistances are less bad, but they're kind of like a trial and error thing a lot of the time, unless you give your players the opportunity to research beforehand or something, and you make that apparent that they should do that, and it's like an important thing. Immunities can feel kind of bad, where you're like, I used my big spell, and it did nothing.
yeah.
Generally, that just feels terrible. I might lean into it a bit more. If I had a player who had this, then it's like a way you use your action, then you learn about it, then they feel more impactful, and then they get to adjust their strategy. The other features are just kind of bad.
I
Like,
kind of disagree.
supernatural defense is okay if
Like-
you're against a big spellcaster boss.
Like, I don't
You
think
get to
it's
roll a d6 on all your
bad.
saves.
Because if you're against, like, a strong guy, you mark them with your thing, right? Like, that's just the thing you do. Then, basically, all of your saving throws are better. Then,
Yeah.
you get a once per short rest counter spell, which is pretty good. And also, if they make you do a saving throw, which all your saving throws are better, you can use a reaction to use a weapon attack against them, which is pretty good. Also, if your attack hits, you succeed the save automatically. So I don't know, it's alright. I think, like, it's mechanically okay. It feels like a ranger. Like, you get all this hunter's mark stuff.
I don't know. It's a lot of effort. And if you're against a really big spellcast, it's powerful. If you aren't, it isn't. If you're against, like, one okay spellcaster and, like, a group of guys, or you're just against a bunch of monsters,
Well, it's still
or you're
good against, like, a
mimic,
dragon.
or you're against a dragon, I don't think it is very good against a dragon.
Dragons
You get
force
to
you to make
save.
dex saves. Also, mimics grapple you, and supernatural defense helps against grapples as well. So it's not bad.
I guess, but, like, my point is, if you're against, like, 6 guys, you can only mark one of them.
Yeah.
Like, if you're against, like, 4 mimics, you can only mark one of them.
Look, definitely this class is terrible into just a bunch of stuff encounter. But if there's a boss, I think it's pretty good. Even if you're fighting, like, a bunch of little stuff that isn't that good, and there's just one guy that's a lot stronger than the rest of
Yeah,
them.
but it's not much better than Horizon Walker or Fey Wanderer. It's only slightly better than them in the ideal case. And they do a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
And this doesn't do anything else.
Well, okay, even in the scenario, like, best case scenario, I think you're about as good as any Fey Wanderer or Drake Warden, and worse than a Gloom Stalker multi-class, obviously.
I I'd put it in C.
Yeah, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna argue that much. I don't think it's that cool. Unfortunately, too, because I really wanted to make like a Geralt of Rivia type character, and I was like, oh, Monster Slayer, that's perfect. It was
That's what
not.
Monster Slayer and Hunter should be.
Yeah, but
they
they're not.
aren't.
They are
They're
not that.
Which is unfortunate.
Swarmkeeper.
Which is like a very exciting archetype for a ranger that should be ranger.
Yeah.
And it's not there, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. Swarmkeeper. I think I did the last one.
Swarmkeeper. Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Feeling a deep connection to the environment around them, some reach out through their magical connection to the world and bond with a swarm of nature. The swarm becomes a potent force in battle, as well as helpful company for the ranger. Some swarm keepers are outcasts or hermits, keeping to themselves and their attendant swarms rather than dealing with the discomfort of others. While other swarmkeepers enjoy building vibrant communities that work for the mutual benefit of all those they consider part of their swarm.
I think as far as like flavor is concerned, this one's a favorite amongst people. People love making Swarmkeeper Rangers because you can make a lot of different types of characters with this.
Yeah, your swarm can really be anything as long as it's small.
Yeah.
Because it's a small anything, your swarm can kind of be it. And your swarm gets to do things like you learn Mage Hand, which is just your swarm moving stuff around. And when you hit things, your swarm gets to like push them around and bully them and bite them. I've seen lots of funny things where the swarm's like a swarm of ducks or wiener dogs or like butterflies. It's just you can make it a lot. You can put a lot of flavor into it.
Yeah. And because your swarm can be anything, your character can essentially be anything as well, which is cool. People like that when making characters. When it's like, oh, I can kind of like look and act however I want with the subclass. So it's nice.
Your swarm can't be attacked, so it's not really ever in danger. But you can kind of like mechanically, it can't be attacked, which I think can be kind of weird sometimes, depending on how you use it. But
your swarm can move people.
Your swarm feels impactful, so it's neat. It's not the same idea as Beastmaster, because Beastmaster is a bit more. There's a bit of a difference. It's a similar idea.
Yeah.
But your swarm works a lot better mechanically, so it feels a lot more impactful. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool things you can do as well, right? You can do extra damage. The swarm. It's pretty good with like a ranged build. You can move yourself 5 feet by the swarm if you attack. Very good with melee builds because it's a free disengage because it's forced movement. You can move people as well. It's always funny to throw people off cliffs or into lava. You need to have pretty good wisdom for that to like work most of the time, but you know, whatever.
Just it's kind of free, so you can just try.
Yeah. But it's not bad even to have high wisdom, because like you get cool spells.
I mean,
like,
it's not bad.
You get Fairy Fire, which is great.
Fairy Fire is okay.
Fairy Fire is really good. And you get it really early. And if you have high wisdom, then it's easy to use it. Web's a really good spell. This one doesn't matter that much as far as... I mean, I don't know. You need wisdom for it to be better, but...
Yeah, Azure Swarm's okay. Arcane Eye is okay. Insect Plague's okay.
Arcane Eye is pretty cool. Insect Plague makes sense. It could be your, like, swarm, obviously. I mean, I'm sure that's the idea.
Yeah, it's fun. You can do a lot. Your swarm feels a lot more in there. I think the biggest problem with Beastmaster is it's harder to use. Like, you get to attack with it every so often, but it doesn't feel as relevant. But in this, your swarm's doing stuff like when you cast Mage Hand or anytime you attack, it does something. And then it does more stuff. As like level 11, it gets upgraded.
Yeah.
Level 7, your swarm can pick you up. And
Yeah,
you
you
get like
can
a
float over
you get a hover
gaps and
speed, which
stuff.
is really funny. You get picked up by your swarm of ducks. They don't
It's good.
and lift you into the air. Um,
Yeah.
your swarm can knock people prone. Or you can give you cover, which are really fun features. And then your 15th feature is also fun. You just disappear. Your swarm engulfs you. You gain resistance as a reaction. And then your swarm, like, swarms around you and teleports you somewhere else. Just sort of in a flurry of the swarm.
Yeah, it's a pretty good feature. I think almost all these features you're happy to get.
They're all good and they're all filled with flavor.
Yeah, and because of the freedom to do whatever you want with your swarm, yeah, it's very flavorful as well. So I don't know. I
The
like it.
features are fun and exciting, and your swarm is always at the core of it.
I like
So
it. I
really
think it's good. I'm thinking A tier.
I'd put it in S tier.
Is there a reason I wouldn't put it in S tier? Let me think about it.
All the features are good, and the flavors just ridiculous. It's just so much flavor.
Yeah, it is. It's cool. It's definitely one of the better ways, as well as Fey Wanderer, I guess, to make like a ranger that's more focused on wisdom and spellcasting, even though you don't have very many spell slots or known spells, but you know, it's something. I don't know. I feel like I'm okay keeping it here, because if I'm comparing it to Fey Wanderer, I think I like Fey Wanderer a little more.
I'd be okay with you keeping it there.
But, I don't know, I could do this.
I think mechanically it's not super crazy, but it's very good mechanically, but mechanically it probably doesn't deserve to be an S.
It's pretty solid. It's not like game breaking like the 3 levels in Gloom Stalker is.
Yeah.
But it's actually fun to play, unlike taking 3 levels of
There's so many things you can do with it. Neat part of it. You could make an insect ranger or like a bird ranger.
I do think to a certain extent,
Fey ranger.
like, if something is really good and really fun, like, I think it can be an S tier. Like, I think we put like a lot of focus on things being like more like fun to play rather than it being like mechanically just good, but I think that's fine. I don't know.
The game, if it's not fun, why bother?
Yeah, true. I mean, Reggie was right. I think all of our tiers are pretty balanced too, I think. And except for like F tier, but F tier, I mean, it has Trickery, Domain, and Battle Rager in it.
Battle Rager, am I right?
So, I don't know. I think I'm happy with this. It's surprising, like, even spread for Rangers, too.
Yeah. Ranger's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I like them.
Well, that's the last Ranger, right?
Yeah, it's the last one. We're done.
We're
Wowee.
done.
They started releasing stuff on the new player's handbook already, so we're running out of time. Yeah, next...
We only have...
Next one's Rogue.
Next?
Yeah, then we have Sorcerer, Warlock, and Wizard.
Rogue. Strapping for that one.
Oh, come on. Rogues are coolish.
Strapping for that one.
Anyway, see you guys next time. Peace.
Bye.